But in this life, you'll win, you'll lose. Choose in spite of all the pain to begin again. Choose in spite of all the pain to begin again. Mistakes you made, Lord knows you paid, but that was then. Today's a brand new day, because in this life you'll win and sometimes you lose. Yeah. So choose in spite of all the pain to begin again. Choose in spite of all the pain to begin again. He'll always be there for you. Put one foot in front of the other, my sister and my brother. God'll do it, he'll fix it. Choose. It's your choice. It's your choice. Oh yeah, you can. Yes you can. Yes you can. Yes you can. Choose in spite of all the pain to begin again.
We're back. I'm Dr. Julia Royston, and this is Live Your Best Life. And I am so glad to still have as my guest Ms. Roz Jones and the Jacksonville caregivers. And we're so excited for all the information she's been giving to us. And we're going to get her contact information again before we close so that you can make sure that keep up with her information and get in her group. But as we stated before the break, we need to talk about the caregiver side. We need to make sure we know where all the information is and all the bills and get our names on the roll. But as a caregiver, because I've known people who said, well, wait a minute, what happened to them? Because they were the one that were taken care of and they died or they got sick or they got incapacitated. And so what happened with them? So I realized that as a caregiver, we need some boundaries. We need some help. We need some goals. We need something to help us make sure that we don't go down with the ship, that we're able to put some boundaries up so that we can still live our best life as well as helping our family member or loved one live their best life. So do you have 2 or 3 tips to really kind of help us as we move through that process for the caregiver?
One thing is, and you already kind of hit the nail on the head, is you have to set boundaries. When you are having this discussion and your mother or father or whoever is asking you to be a caregiver, you have to say what you can and you can't do. You know, I work from 8 to 5. I can only give you once a week, 4 hours out of my week.
Right.
And so to supplement that, we may have to get care in. Now, also too, if they ask you to be the caregiver and you don't want to do it, you need to say no. Please don't take it on, and in your spirit and in your heart that you cannot do it. I would rather for you to say no and put someone in a facility or in what they're doing now is called a co-share, to where people are co-sharing living responsibilities, for the elderly, either in a facility or in a co-share where they will be taken care of.
What does a co-share look like? Because I know what assisted living look like, but what does co-share is like? We're like roommates?
Yes, that's what it is, exactly. It's an assisted living facility where there are roommates, and so they share the bills, and they take care of one another. If you go to the doctor, I'll go with you, or if something happens, I can contact your family. So it's almost like living in a college dorm.
Okay, gotcha.
Like situation, but each person has their own room, and they have a common area, the living room and dining room.
Okay.
Or a common bathroom, or they each have their own bathroom, and that's it.
But the person needs to be independent. It's not like they're your caregiver. They're just there as roommates. So everybody's independent. But there's somebody there. So you're not alone. Because I'm back to the original conversation we had about these 117 million people. And there's only 45 million that basically have a family member or somebody who could possibly be responsible for them. So we have nearly 60 plus million people that could be possibly alone. So this co-sharing or cohabitation or roommate situation may have to really grow and be.
And it is growing. And the whole thing is, and that's why I'm saying as a caregiver, recognize if you can. If you can't, there are options.
Right.
Let your loved one know that there are options. And particularly if you are a caregiver who's an only child, that's a lot of responsibility.
Right.
That's a lot. And if you know in your heart, and you know what, don't allow that guilt. You know how our mothers put that guilt on us. Well, if your daddy was still living, I wouldn't be going to the nursing home.
Right, exactly. Yeah. You're the dad. I had you to take care of me.
That's right. I took care of you, and I plowed the field and picked cotton with you on my back.
Yeah.
Well,
but I think it would be. I think it's worse for each of you if you're not willing to face the fact.
Right. And so, if you allow that guilt to happen, it will turn into bitterness.
Yeah.
And when you're taking care of someone and they feel that bitterness, I'm angry, their life is cut short.
Yes.
They will will themselves to death because they know that you're doing this out of spite, out of anger, out of, because you guilted me into this. And so the caring is not caring anymore. It's a job.
Yes. And everybody doesn't have that. Everybody doesn't have that ability to, because I know I have clients who have they shut down their whole life and moved in to take care of their family member. They have the heart for it. They have the persistence for it. They have the drive. They have the ability to do it. And they're like, I could. I'm not married. I'm single. I just said, all right, I put all my bills and all my life on hold, and I just moved in to do it. But everybody is not there. So the caregiver, as well as the one being cared for, needs to understand that we've got to face some hard facts.
There are limitations and boundaries. And if you are giving the care, if you're the one who's actually taking care of the person, understand your emotions. Understand you'll have anxiety, depression, you'll be going through a mourning period because this person is not the person you thought that they were going to be.
Yes.
So now you are grieving internally because, you know, my mother's in a bed and I got to take care of her 24 hours.
Right.
When a person gets to the point where you can't take care of them, it's okay to put them in a nursing home. That's called skilled care. When they need 24-hour care and you can't get out of the house, that's when you need to transition them. You still go, your caregiving doesn't stop. You still go to the nursing home and check on them 2 or 3 times a week.
Sure.
And you need to do that.
Yes.
Because if they know they don't have an advocate, things can happen. Nothing is perfect.
No.
And know that there's different types and different levels of facility depending on what you can afford. But the whole thing is I want the caregiver to understand, set boundaries, set limits, take care of yourself when you wake up first. Don't think about taking care of nobody. When you get up in the morning, you do your meditation, you thank God, you read your Bible, you have your time to yourself and with the Lord. You do that first. Then you move on to everybody else.
Yes.
A lot of times we forget, we roll out of bed and we pick up this phone. No. Lord, I just, help guide me through this day. You have to understand that. You got to. And then you have to implement strategies and tips and things to help you keep your peace of mind.
Right.
Set a schedule for yourself and the person you take care of. If you can't fulfill all of those needs, ask for help.
Yes.
Don't try to be Superwoman, Superman, and Jesus all rolled up into one. You can't do it.
No. So that's where we come back to you for help. That's where we come back to you for assistance. Because, sometimes we're not able. I mean, as I'm getting older, I'm in my middle 50s, 56, and running towards 60. And then my mother's getting older. Therefore, I do need to know how to get help, the help that I need, because I don't, and knowing the research and knowing the questions we should ask and knowing who to ask for and, I didn't know about that, or I didn't think about that, and when we're doing our research. So with all that said and done, I need for you to tell us, Ms. Roz Jones, how we can get in contact with you, how we can stay connected to you on social media, where we need to go so that we can get the help that we need, the information, and then there's a membership group, a safe place for caregivers so that we can ask those questions, so that we can give the information we find out and make sure that it's true or not, and make sure it can be verified. Please do.
And also, too, as I get ready to give you my contact information, realize that Medicare only gives you up to 12, maybe 20 hours a week max of home health care. Max.
Wow.
Don't think it's 24 hours a day. It's not.
Give us your information so we can keep in touch with you.
Yes, ma'am. The contact information, my personal page is Roz Jones. My business page, which is open to everybody, which is Jacksonville's Best Caregivers. My private group is the Caregiver Cafe. And then also too on LinkedIn, if you want to get in contact with me, is Rosalind Marshall Jones. So those are the ways you can get in contact with me. I can help you if you're a beginning caregiver or a current caregiver.
Give your email address one more time. Give us your email.
Yeah, my email address.
For those that are not on social media.
Right. Lady Rosalind, Lady, L-A-D-Y, of course, ROSALIND Jones @gmail.com.
Perfect. We got a lot of questions, and we'll have you back to answer even more of our questions as we continue to move into 2020, the new decade and the new time. So I'm Dr. Julia Royston. Thank you so much, Ms. Roz Jones, for being here today, tomorrow, and always, helping us to live our best life.
Live each and every day, love and live your way. Do your very best, learn and lead today. Be the best you can, it's your life. Take a stand, so live your best life. Live your best life. Come on and live your best life.
Julia Royston.